I have a couple pieces there right now. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Uh, well, I think why I felt so strongly I wasn't to go into art. I had a powerful dream where I saw my life as an artist, and that's the road I would go down, and it didn't end well. And I think as a young man, the bohemian culture and art, they were too connected that that I just wasn't mature enough to really embrace art in a way that would be healthy. And so, in my 50s, and then becoming a spiritual director and just maturing as a Christian, I feel like I can do art differently. Um, but there is still which I think you find, in the Hebrew Bible, this tension with sensuality and spirituality. A Song of Solomon and all of that. And so there is, for me, as a man, uh, there's something that I'm still trying to grasp and understand with my art. And I find that I'm a touchy-feely kind of guy. So I think painting and drawing and just being able to find resistance on the paper, on the canvas, there's something that really feeds my soul. And also when I, really start picking up art again, I made it early on, I decided not to show anybody anything that I did because I was coming out of such a performance-oriented uh, way of living life, and that I wanted my paintings to be a place where I didn't perform. And so it was only probably in the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years, that I began to let people see my stuff because that performance thing uh, really had to be broken, where I could just do art because I enjoyed it, and it's where I go to disengage and find peace and kind of get transported into a different world, so to speak. Uh, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah. I listen to yeah, music. Bruce Coburn is one of like my favorite artists. He's a Canadian uh, left-wing Christian. If he was he's a normal Canadian Christian, but if he was American, he would be left. Uh, so I find a lot of folk music is and then uh, oh, I forgot the name of the group, but you know, um, but yeah, alternative music, a little softer. I have a brother-in-law that does his stuff with, you know, headbanging music. I don't know how he does it, but with me, it tends to be kind of folk music. Uh, Kind of takes me to that place. Yeah, yeah. So usually there's music when I do my art. Well, when I do painting, when I'm doing drawing and watercolor, it's been silence. And I think partly it's because I picked that up when I was in Crete, and it was a different dynamic. So I would do that a lot of times outside, and So I find, at least with my art, I have to have a goal. So for me, the goal is learning how to do a technique. I don't have to be the best. I just need to do it well enough to where I enjoy it. So again, that performance thing I think has really been broken. So I can just do it until I'm satisfied with it, and then I want to do something different. So if I was going to have a career, I would find one thing and stick to it. But because I don't have to do a career, I can let my curiosity lead me. Yeah.
Remember your wife's first
Uh, she's, it's really weird. I get like zero encouragement from her. Uh, it's like, can I have a wall to myself, in our house, Uh, but she'll brag about me to others, you know. But to me, she just whatever, tolerates me. Yeah, and so and which was good too because I realized I can't. I'm not doing it for her. It's where I learned how to be selfish in a healthy way.
Yeah, individual.
Yeah, and so I do it for me to connect with my own soul. And then every once in a while somebody will ask me to do something for them, and I'll do that. I'll take on the challenge, or if a friend and I want to do something for them, you know, tell them you don't have to take the painting, but this is where I'm at right now, and so I'm doing this kind of stuff, and yeah.
What's your next?
I'm really still on a lot of pen and ink and watercolor. And one of my goals when I was in Crete was to kind of work on this painter's diary, so to speak, and then make a calendar of some of those paintings for my friends and family. So I just sent it off 2 days ago. Had to use Express extra $50 to get some calendars made. So, and that was I need that kind of goal to so that I have somewhere to go with it. So I don't know if that's healthy or not, but I found that's so it's like last month I shared some music. Well, it's when my boys said, "Hey, once you write enough stuff, we'll make an album with you." And I thought, okay, I've got 12 songs there now, and then they're sending demos back of how they're wanting to arrange it, and so again, it's having those goals that enable me to continue to be creative in different ways. I have a hard time selling my stuff, and I might just sell it by the inch. I heard that's what, because how do you put a price on stuff, Uh, but again, I think I'm at a season in my life where I don't have to make a living doing that. And if I had to make a living, it'd be a different story, So, uh, and I'll just say this too. I was on the phone this morning with a pastor from England that we get together once a month via Zoom, and he's like 62, and just telling him how great our 60s are. That it's a wonderful time. There's parts of who we are as people we haven't discovered yet. And so I really found the 60s is wonderful. It's a time, at least on the front end, of deconstruction. Sometimes the old you has to be, even the good old you, has to be taken apart so that you can hear yourself and hear God in new ways. And then, I mean, there are parts of me I didn't know that were there. that I'm having freedom to discover. So other than just arthritis and things like that, uh, and heart attacks and all that, it's been a pretty amazing ride, and I love this season of my life. Yeah, yeah, got it. So I'm done. What, 20 minutes? Yeah.
What advice would you give to those that are maybe younger, that are wanting to enter into creativity, doing things, but maybe there's things in the world that is keeping them to kind of just hold back? Like for me, example, young, I had family, I had to go move away from my art career and focus on something. But then also to
Yeah.
the older individuals that are kind of feel like, am I too old to get back into the game? You know?
Yeah, so I felt, especially when I started getting arthritis in my hands, my days of drawing were over. Uh, and I kind of bought that story for myself. And then I realized one of my great inspirations is the lead guitarist for Black Sabbath, where he was also a carpenter. He cut off the tips of his fingers accidentally. And so he couldn't play the guitar the same way. So he had to adapt because he still wanted to play guitar. And so he came up with kind of a technique that was really unique to them and gave them a unique sound. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Black Sabbath fan, but I love that story where sometimes we can let those disabilities or those bad breaks or whatever define us, and they don't have to be, And so, in the same way with playing guitar, it hurts for me to make the chords, so I had to learn open tuning, and so. And that's been like opening up a whole new world. So I'm seeing those things that used to stop me. What they do is that they're good challenges. And so if I really want to do it, I have to learn how to do it different. And I think that's where some of the uniqueness comes, because we can't do it like everyone else. And I tell this which is an unpopular message. I tell people in their 20s, you don't have permission to follow your passion. Get a real job. Work hard, you take care of your family, and partly I come to that because I had this kind of encounter with God in my early 20s, where as a social worker I was hating my job, and I was kind of complaining to myself, to God, why am I doing this? I don't like the people; they don't like me. This is where am I going with this? And all at once, I had this kind of experience where I could just see people all over the world for most of history doing work they didn't enjoy. And that to be able to do something that I really enjoy, that I'm passionate about, God, there's just a small fraction of people that can do that. And at least with my encounter with God, I felt like God said, am I enough? Am I enough? You can do a job and show up, put in the hours. You don't really enjoy it, but you do your best. And am I enough? So I think with my relationship with God, I could do that. It doesn't mean if you have the opportunity to follow your passion and get paid, I'd say go for it. But most of us, and it's really just in the West, you know what I mean, that we have that unique opportunity. If you've been in India and you see the poverty and you see just people are just scraping to to make a living, you know, and we have it pretty good here. So, so that's why I would say younger people is that with modern medicine, unless you do something really stupid or you get in a car wreck, you probably have a long life, you know. And I found those things that I kind of got buried. I'm stepping into now, and I'm enjoying it, you know. So, but that's my story, you know. That's
Questions? All right. All right. Thanks, Charles.
good.